Welcome to my channel, I'm Lead. You can catch me on Twitch almost every day, and now have fun with the video. Welcome YouTube! This time around I won't fuck it up again. You guys won't see it. It never happened for you guys, but I just fucked up the video, so I have to redo the entire thing. Yeah, it's the review of the first impression of Seer of Destiny Merlin, the newest addition to Dimensionals. He's most likely going to be fucking insane for PvP and somewhat decent / good for PvE. The damage reduction is really nice for PvE as well, but the main implications, as you will see in a second, will most likely be like really fucking insane for PvP. Being good in both means, yeah, must have, obviously. Also, the first support we get for Dimensionals, so maybe Dimensional Tower coming in next patch, next 2 patches, next month, something along those lines, maybe after Hypergen. The next one we're looking at is Dimensionals, and yeah, I can see that one being fucking insane with all the Dimensionals that we already have, plus the addition of Merlin. Obviously Merlin fitting into the Arthur thingy, with Merlin and Arthur and so on. So let's go on and check out all his abilities and furnitures. So his ultimate ability is also tied in with the furniture that we'll get to in a second. His ultimate ability gives damage reductions for 12 seconds. I'll explain 12 seconds in a second. The base one is obviously 8 seconds for 35% each time he casts the ultimate ability and at the beginning of battle. That will be in furniture in a second. So 35% damage reduction for all allies at the start of battle, and once he casts ultimates, he can reapply it and the duration is actually even extended. That's not all. The 1 counter is once the enemy opposite of, or not opposite, but mirrored, I guess, what do you call it? There's a word. Symmetrically positioned, yeah. Symmetrically positioned. That's the one. So basically same position as like in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positioning, like the one that is 1 as well, if Merlin was 1 and 4 and so on. Once that one ults, Merlin will gain the shield, and all his allies will gain a shield of 180% of their max health. Max health, really important. That exists for 5 seconds. So basically, if 1 ults and Merlin is symmetrically positioned, all allies will basically dodge it, and then you have the 35% damage reduction as well. So really fucking insane, nice protection there. But most implications for those or that mechanic will most likely be PvP. The damage reduction can be like really fucking huge for PvE as well, and the health is still nice, but yeah, that's like a stat check and will depend on deficit. At some deficits, if you're getting 1 shot, you're getting 1 shot. Okay. I mean, you won't get 1 shot as much, and the deficit has to be way lower, or he can be used to way lower deficits, but eventually he will still get 1 shot, if that makes sense. So yeah, no invincibility or stuff like that there. The CC dodge is really nice. All his other abilities basically lead up to like still the stat checking stuff and the Lucretia Isol cheese, like those that anyways need like okay deficits since they are stat checking and not like invincibility or yeah cheesy things, then yeah, that should be fine. And I don't think we'll get to those deficits anytime soon. So for now, for PvE, insane as well. Yeah, ignoring CC as well for 5 seconds or while the shield is active until it's destroyed. The shield obviously being really fucking big. Yeah, that covers it. The furniture now, and explaining why it's 12 seconds for the damage reduction. It's increased by 50%, that's the 3 out of 3. 50% of 8 seconds is 4 seconds, 4 seconds that to 8 seconds is 12 seconds. Yeah, Merlin can immediately use the ability Destiny Force here when he enters the battle. That's why I said each time he ults, it refreshes, and then at the start of battle. That's why it's so fucking nice against Eins, in my opinion, or will be most likely. In defense, I think it can have trouble, and obviously don't have to use Eins into it, but yeah, in attacking, just having symmetrical Eins positioning can like just protect all your units, and Eins ult won't one-shot, basically being a really nice counter most likely. Merlin calls upon the force of magic to heal himself and his most injured ally for 6% max health per second, and 30% of all damage dealt to the injured ally during the healing period is borne by Merlin. So 30% of the damage that an ally would take will instead be taken by Merlin. That will be changed slightly by his SI that we'll get to in a second. And you have to keep in mind that the ally most likely has damage reduction and shield and all of that stuff. So really nice protection still, and yeah. I mean, basically everything is leading up to protection besides his third and fourth ability, which is like keeping him alive. I mean, fourth ability has protection as well, but yeah, the third ability is like basically just CC immunity so that he can do his stuff. Not immunity, but every 6 seconds he can dispel immunity, and yeah, I'll get to that one obviously. 20% of the damage dealt by a protected ally target is converted into health for both Merlin and the allies, so he also heals allies more for the damage they deal. Again, Lucretia and what is it called? Isolde seem to be the most obvious ones. I mean, I can see it working for Eins as well, since Eins is like a stat checking one as well. But for like low energy generating enemies, I think that one might not be ideal for Merlin, or for just CCing them in general. Like Merlin doesn't really add on to those like CC chains and invincible or slow energy reduction invincibility comps. I can see Merlin maybe not being the best fit, but all the stat ones, basically Merlin seems to be like a really good one or addition. Yeah, the plus 30 amount of health Merlin loses as a result of damage for his ally when using the ability Magic Immolation is reduced by half. So instead of 30%, Merlin only takes 15%, but it still reduces 30%, or shares 30%, I guess. And the ability now targets 2 allies, so that's interesting. If Merlin will also give the 6% heal twice to himself, and if the allies will heal each other as well. Like if you have, let's say, Gwen and Joker linked, if Joker will also heal Gwen, or if Joker will just heal Joker and Merlin, and Gwen will only heal Gwen and Merlin. Or if they'll heal each other basically as well, like Gwen and Joker in that example I just gave. When using the ability reduced by half, and the ability now targets 2 allies. Wait, there was something else. Oh yeah. Also, oh no, wait, I mentioned both. Yeah, and if Merlin is 6 or 12% healing, like those are the interesting ones that we'll have to look at. By the way, guys, if you find the blinking of my new overlay annoying, please let me know in the comments. I'd really appreciate it. Yeah, someone already told me that they did, so I will most likely change it by the next one. But for now, I wanted to test that one and see your guys' impressions. So yeah. Karmic Law. When Merlin is suffering from the effects of enemy control ability, he dispels the majority of negative. Yeah, okay. So if Merlin gets affected by CC, every 6 seconds he can dispel the thingy and then imprison the enemy for 3 seconds. That caused that one that cannot be dispelled, and the target will lose health equal to 170% of Merlin's attack rating every second. So every second basically means times 3. Since 3 seconds it cannot be dispelled unless they die in between. Since it's every 3 seconds, that's like a decent amount of damage. And it helps Merlin to do his stuff, since it dispels CC. Against a lot of CC, that won't exactly be enough. But against most comps, especially in PvE, it should be fine. In PvP, usually it is fine as well, but sometimes I guess it can be changed CC. Okay, Guardian now. When Merlin suffers fatal damage for the first time, he enters spirit form and seeks refuge in his spirit owl. While in the spirit form, Merlin protects most injured ally. So when Merlin would suffer fatal damage, he ends up protecting the ally instead and being in stasis for 7 seconds, healing himself and the ally for 10% or 15% max health per second, which is a lot of healing. And the damage reduced on the ally is by 30 seconds. If the ally should die, or if those 7 seconds run out, he appears at his original spot again. And yeah, the battle continues. That one is slow with the 7 seconds threshold, and the battle will most likely be decided by that point, unless like the ally would die in the next few seconds, and Merlin can just go on to mind his own business again. It still offers some protection, so Merlin won't be completely gone, and the health is also nice. Yeah, I don't think that one is like the big part about him, but it's a nice addition, and he'll like be able to survive burst in a way. The issue is that him not being able to maybe get his ultimate skill off. I'm not sure if it will. I wouldn't think like that his ultimate will go off while he is in stasis, but I'm not entirely sure. I just doubt it, but yeah. If it still goes off, then that's fucking nice, but I don't think so. So that would be like maybe a counter to just force him into the stasis mode, and then basically stop his ultimate ability from cycling, but that needs a lot of dive, and then you don't dive onto those sweet carry targets. So yeah, I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to get to here. Merlin, really nice PvP, like I said at the beginning, and PvE, I can see him being really good for a long time. Eventually maybe he gets power creep, but the damage reduction will always be relevant, I think. For Dimensions, a really nice addition, and overall a must-have in my opinion. That's my overview over Merlin, the newest addition. Thanks guys for watching. Bye YouTube.